How we doing, people? This is your boy Bry, and we are getting things done, getting ready for winter. What we've got going on today, we'll get right to it, is we had a tailgate for this dump trailer over here, and I brought it out because today's the day we have to prep to get that ready to go onto the trailer. We have everything pretty much ready on the trailer. We have the lights all in from being ordered, and the only thing left we really have to do is put the fenders on it, which I haven't got to yet, and the actual dump gate. Now, the dump gate was from the original trailer body. The guy must not have had it on the body, and he had it off to the side because when I bought the trailer frame from him, he said, hey, I have the tailgate if you want it, and I'm glad I got it from him. Let's take a look at some of the upgrades. So what you see here is a Super Cam line. It's a Super Cam line dump trailer tailgate, and they don't really use these a lot anymore. And I'm kind of fortunate because I actually like the tailgate version. I don't like the split barn doors. I'm not a big fan of those. And you have to open them up all the way around the trailer. I just like these. They're hardy and they're very, very well built. One of the better things that the Super Cam line actually came up with, they put these keyways in here, and this is for your chain so that when you can drop the tailgate, or you can pull it, let it fall out, and you can actually sift material from the bottom. What I happened to see when I brought this up was obviously it had some surface rust on it. Now this is heavy steel. This is it looks like 3/16. It's, excuse me, 5/16. It's actually more than a quarter. So it's pretty thick steel. It's good steel. Even the tin here is like, I want to say it's 1/8 inch, or it might be 1/8 inch. But as you can see, someone had drilled holes in here, and I don't know what they were thinking, what the reason was, but I got rid of those. Now, underneath this here, this is like the little structure that they build on the bottom, and I could just tell that there was a lot of, these trailers do not get a lot of primer when they send them out. And I got looking at it, and I said, well, they've got welds down here, and I don't know if you can quite see those, but I actually redid the welds, because what I did was took a zip tool, people, and I cut all the welds, and I came up here, and I cut all these welds, and I pulled this cover off, and there was literally a grain shovel full of debris and dirt and rust and scale. And you say, well, you know, no one's going to see it. You're right, no one's going to see it, but you know your boy Bry, he's not trying to do things halfway. So what I did, and let me just show you what we've got going on here. The first thing I did, I had to use, was this chisel tool, this air chisel, to get the final corner welds busted free, and it came off nice. I went through and used this descaler. Now this is a tool that is very, very effective. It takes all the scaling off, and the other tool I used was this cutoff wheel here from Harbor Freight. It's Chief is the name of it, to get in some of the small areas. And part of the reason why I had to pull that cover off, okay, was because this pin was in there and it was busted off. Someone had busted it off, and what they did was just welded another one on the bottom. And not only did it look bad, it just really wasn't functional because it wasn't in line with the other one. So what I did was I got the same size diameter pin over here, and just all I have to do is cut this head off. But I thoroughly welded around it so it's in good shape. As you can see, I had to cut that with the cutoff wheel, and then I had to use the air chisel in order to bust it free. But you can see some of the heat it generated getting that off there. But this is heavy steel. It's good steel. It's one of the better things that Super Cam line actually did, was build their tailgates. I really, really like the tailgate. You can extend it down and get another almost 2 feet off your trailer. And as you know, my trailer is 12 feet long. So when I tell you I had a grain shovel full, I'm not joking, people. It was right full, and I had to go throw it. The nice thing about living out in the country, I just threw it out in the woods. But You know, the Hobart, that's the real king of the palace right here. This baby really makes the situation nice. Let's take a look at some of these welds. As you can see, they're burned in really nice. Now what I did is, let me see if I have it over here. Now I took this product right here. This is something that I've used in the past and it's very good. It's similar to a POR 15. It's zero rust, and the guy that made this actually was the guy that invented POR 15, and just he got kind of, how do I put this, swindled out of his the deal there with the POR 15. There's a long story behind it, but he wound up making his own. So if you need POR 15, get a hold of this zero rust. It's the same type of formula. The guy that designed it actually designed this, but that's neither here nor there. It says easy to use, rust inhibitive coating, impermeable barrier to rust, long-lasting protection, direct to metal. That's what you want, a DTM. That way, if you can put it underneath. Now, this has all been painted underneath on the backside, around the edges. I just stayed far enough away, like a 1/4 of an inch away from where I'm going to weld, because you don't want to have to. It won't weld good if you get painting it, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and paint these seams and paint the welds, and then what I'm going to do is get some, we're going to get some sealer, some seam sealer, and go across there. And what I am going to do, seeing this is actually the bottom, okay, I'm going to come on under here, and we're going to actually drill some holes in here. I'm going to do like 4 holes so that I can put my fluid film wand in there. And even though that's painted, and even though that would last a long time just the way it is, I want to go ahead and put fluid film inside the channel so that it never does that again. But, yep, that's the situation. So tomorrow, we're going to see if we can't go ahead and get this baby in, and what I did here, we're going to get it in primer, epoxy primer, and we're going to get it in the gloss black from the acrylic, just like the trailer. Now, what you see here is I ran some tape across here. And what I did is I took the brush where your hand is. Your hand goes under here to grab the tailgate. I did use the needler and I got all that off, but there's no way I can get every inch of the rust off on there. It's like deep down in the pores a little bit. So I used that rust inhibitor, this zero rust, and we're going to give it a shot. I've used it on other things and I've had good results. But that's the tailgate. We're really happy with it. Now that I've got this pin replaced, I can go ahead and build the tabs on the back of that trailer so that I can actually install it. But before I install it, you know, I need to prime it, I need to paint it, I need to put the seam sealer in here, because I got to do it right. You know, if I'm not doing it right, I'm just not doing it. But I just wanted to give you a little update on that. I had a friend of mine, check this out. A friend of mine called me, and he seen my video on my, hold on a second, on my wood splitter, and he brought up a good point. He said, you know, there's a safety hazard, and let me just say, first of all, I come from, hold on, let me just say it like this. I come from a safety situation that says I'm trying to be a safe individual, even though I do a lot of different things. And my safety culture is on point, okay? And the one thing you need to do, the first thing you need to realize is when someone calls you and tells you that they've seen something about a video or something that you have that could be a safety concern, and I'm not talking about something where it doesn't matter or they're just, you know, trying to be critical of you. Someone who actually cares about you, or someone that sees something, is going to really let you know, hey, there's a safety situation there. And because he knows, this fellow of mine, a friend of mine I've known for a long time, he knows I value safety. So he called me and he said, hey, there's a situation that you may run into with your wood splitter. And let's take a look at what he's talking about. So he's saying when this splits, boom, and this comes down, it could land on the corner of that right there. And it could catch on there, just like I'm doing here. I'm trying to fabricate it to do that. It could catch there, right? And if you're not, right there, that's a better example. And if you're not watching, and you put the next log in, let me see if I got one over here. Let's take a look. Let's go over to the log pile. And you put the next log in and you're not watching it, you think it laid down, you can go ahead and actually see how it can catch that corner, and it can actually either bend that apart or it can actually have stored energy and flick that piece back at you, and that'd be a bad situation. So the remedy, what I'm going to do, off of the suggestion the guy told me, is we may go ahead and put a piece of flat steel in here, okay, and put like a small piece of a small ramp on there, so it'd still do the same thing. And we may go ahead and do that and get that implemented. That way we don't have a situation that says we're going to get hurt. And you know, if you get hurt, people, you're kind of out of the game. Trying to get out of the game, we're trying to stay at the top of the game, if you know what I mean. But yeah, really proud and happy about this tailgate, because you know, a lot of people would just paint it and put it on the trailer and say, let's get on down the road. But you know, your boy Bry, he can't even go to sleep at night if he knows there's rust or something underneath there. He just ain't gonna do it. So yeah, we're happy that we got this taken care of. And believe it or not, this literally took me all day. So if you have a tailgate and you need to make some repairs to it, you better set aside a full day, and you better say to yourself, be prepared to go the long route around and not the short way, because the short way never works out. But here's the other thing I want to say. I bought these off Amazon, these flapper discs, and I have a whole nother pack and a half in there. But you know, when you go through these and you're not running down to Harbor Freight or Lowe's every 5 minutes, it's a good deal when you say I paid 19 bucks for 40 of them, and you don't mind using them, because you know, at the end of the day, you're saving money buying them online, and you're not trying to do something with a worn out disc, if you know what I mean. But hey, just be prepared. If you're going to do repairs and stuff like that, you're going to need some tools. You're going to need some tools. But as you see, here's another tech tip. When you're grinding, yes, you can use a mask, but here's the other thing you can use. When you have dust and little particles and stuff like that, if you turn that fan on high speed, it blows them right past you. But the only time you really don't want to use that fan is when you're welding, if you're welding with a gas, because you don't want to blow the shielding gas away from the weld. Otherwise you'll have a bad weld, or at least it'll look bad. But if you're using flux core, you can use it, because that's kind of what flux core is made for, is outside with the wind and all that. But today's a very calm day, actually. But yeah, so that's the deal. And we got the tailgate going good. We're going to go ahead and throw a tarp over it for tonight, just so that it doesn't flash rust. And we may even, if I think about it, I may run in there and grab some primer real quick and just touch it up. I did do the backside too. I'm really not too worried about the part that actually gets the material on it, because you're going to be scraping stuff across it. But there it is, people. That's the situation with the dump trailer tailgate. And you're going to see this when I get it installed, and you're going to say, hey, now that's a nice tailgate. But this is your boy Bry. We've got to do some fluid filming tomorrow. Maybe I'll set up the tripod, and maybe we'll show you the deal on that, because you have to stay up on the fluid film. You can't let a year go by, otherwise you have rust. And you know how your boy Bry feels about rust. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I got this truck right here. Let's see it. Let's take a look at it. You see this is a Toyota Tacoma, and every time I take this truck in, look at that. It's got like a little bit of, it looks like dirt all over it, but it's really years and years, probably at least 5 years of fluid film that's actually built up on the frame, and the dirt collects on it, and it does not let it rust out, people. As you can see, I even went inside the frame, and that's the beauty of the wand. You go inside the frame, and it throws 360 degrees. Hold on, you got to get this. It goes 360 degrees all the way around the inside of the frame, and all on the seams. It runs down in, and I'm telling you right now, I take this into to get this inspected at the dealer, and the guy comes out an hour later and says, we just can't find no, that's weird, he says. That frame is in perfect shape. I said, yeah, that truck right there, my brother in Texas gave me this truck, and I'll tell you right now, what a blessing that has been, because this little Toyota truck right here has got 437,000 miles on it. And I think I put maybe 50,000 on it, 45,000. He did the rest, but he took real good care of it. He bought it brand new. And you know, your boy Bry, he's always appreciative. So I got to give a shout out to my oldest brother, David. He, you know, he really hooked a brother up, literally, so to speak. But you know, in his respect too, I don't want to sit there and just let the truck get all destroyed and salt and all that. So I came out, and every year I fluid film this truck. Now I haven't even done it yet. And take a look at this. You can still see some of the fluid film on there from last year. Now, I mean, that's actually active and wet. But I pulled the taillights out of this truck, and I actually pulled all the fender flares off when I originally did it. Now, those fender flare clips are a one-time use. I had to go to Toyota and get new fender clips, but it's worth it, people. It's really worth it. I pulled the taillights out and I sprayed all along the upper part. You don't see no rust here. You don't see the high wheel package here in on my house, I'll tell you that. As you can see, look at down here on the tail panel. This usually gets rotted right out. Look at this. As you can see, fluid film. Homie don't play. You know what I'm saying? Homie does not play. Look at this, fluid film. The bed's like brand new underneath. Now, I actually use the truck. It isn't like I don't use it now. But the little headache rack, I built that. That thing's working great. And it actually gives it a little more. I've actually had something slide up against the truck the other a couple weeks ago, and it would have broke the window. And I said, wow, I'm glad I built that rack. But the only thing on this truck, let's go over and take a look at it. And I'm going to have to pull them off because I don't like the situation where it looks like this. But I'm going to actually go ahead and build some new ones. As you can see, the running boards are the only thing. You see what the salt does? I can't get inside to the running board. There's no way without drilling holes, and it was already too late. So we're going to go ahead and pull them off. But everything else on this truck, let's just say, is Seymour certified, if you know what I mean. But this is your boy Bry, just giving you a rundown on the situation here at the compound. The leaves are turning. It's actually very beautiful out. The day was absolutely wonderful, and I'm really enjoying this. You know, I worked a long couple of weeks, so now I'm just taking it all in. But you know, you can't stop working. Winter's coming, so we've got to get wood in the shed. But I wanted to show you this long tailgate that I took all that piece off today, and I did it right. Because if you're not doing it right, you're not doing it. This is your boy Bry. I got to get on down the road.